Welcome to day 18 of the Sewing Room Declutter Challenge. I'm Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts, and together we will be clearing out the unwelcome, the unwanted, and the no longer necessary to make space for a year full of creativity, clarity, and joy. Now we only have a couple of days left, and today we are dealing with your batting and your batting scraps. So step one is the same that it's been every day, and that is to use your timer. So step two is to define your capacity. And today's question,
how much space do I want my batting to occupy?
And your answer should be a combination of the capacity of your space to actually store your batting scraps with the number of projects you actually intend to make to consume those scraps. Batting and batting scraps can take up a lot of real estate in your sewing space. Not only are we dealing with batting in all sorts of sizes, we are also dealing with different types of batting. And you get batting scraps with every quilt you make, so you're always going to have some that linger around. Batting scraps can be used in many ways, and I showed you some ideas in this video here, and I'll leave a link to that in the notes. And one of the top items that we make is often called frankenbatting. It's just splicing and sewing pieces together to make a bigger piece that you can use in your quilting. I explained how to do it in that same video, but that major point is that you should not combine different types of batting because they shrink at different rates. So from earlier in the week, go back and take a look at your UFOs and your works in progress. You probably have some projects that need batting, so note their finish sizes. And then when you have a moment, you can splice your batting pieces together to get that project done. This is a win-win-win activity. You don't need to buy extra batting, it saves you money, and you get to recover oodles of space. Step three is to declutter. Remember, you get batting scraps with every project, so if you're not consuming them, they will quickly overflow your capacity and take over. I store all my batting here at the studio because this is where my long arm is. And several years ago, I decided to keep my life simple and just use one type of batting. I purchase my batting by the roll, I keep it under the long arm, then I dump my scraps into this laundry baskets after I square up my quilts. And this year I brought all my batting scraps from my home as well. When I have any small pieces of batting, I just cut them into smaller pieces and I store them in bags. I did have a dog bed and a couple of bolster pillows on my to-do list last year that I never got around to. So my space is overflowing with these scraps this year. So in the first couple of months of this year, I'm going to push myself to make a couple of projects, or I'm going to have to let these go. Now I also cut and splice batting into quilt-as-you-go sizes. But as I said yesterday, this year I'm wanting to shake things up a bit and do things a little bit differently with new blocks, so stay tuned. Now you may have other types of batting. There's thermal batting, upholstery foam and wadding. You may also have other kinds of stuffing like polyfill or silicone beads, wool rovings, or crushed walnuts. When was the last time you used any of that? And do you see yourself making any projects soon that will consume them? Personally, I used to use crushed walnuts in my pin cushions. We have some nut allergies in our family now, so that has all been donated. And of course, step four is to get it out of your space. Find that quilter who likes to make dog and cat bedding for the local shelter,
so this doesn't end up in the landfill.
So now it's your turn to share. How many bags of scrap do you have? How are you going to use them in the coming year? Tell me about your plans in the comments. And don't forget to post a picture online with this year's hashtags. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 19.